Hello, welcome to the Kentucky Assembly meeting. How is everybody doing?
Pretty good.
Good.
I've seen the agenda go. There it is. Can everyone see the agenda?
Yes.
Yes.
Would you like me to do the Bivens, Laura?
Yes, please.
Okay,
Yeah,
welcome.
because I was just asking Bob that. I was like, am I supposed to keep going? Justin's name is there. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good seeing you, everybody. Let's see. Let's do this. I'm Justin, the Martial at Arms for the Kentucky Assembly. This is August 27th, 2022. Thank you for Belinda for getting this agenda ready again. The Bivens decision. This meeting is private. Bearing false witness, misrepresentation, and posting inflammatory rhetoric in public forums is forbidden and shall be addressed in an appropriate manner. To eliminate all conflict and false allegations, is there anyone in attendance at today's meeting that is a member or agent of any law enforcement agency or public agency of the federal, state, county, city, or township agencies present? Additionally, are there any U.S. citizens of the United States present? And I don't see anybody that's not status corrected on the call yet. So anyone who is here under false pretenses, anyone who is working for any foreign government, including the territory of the United States or municipal United States, anyone who is being paid or coerced to be here must fully disclose their presence and purpose now or leave the premises or the call. If they subsequently show up as a federal witness, they're discredited for failure to disclose, beg your pardon. And so for liability purposes only and not for any purpose of contract, is there any response to the Bivens decision at this time? Okay. Are you?
The purpose of this meeting is to report on committee activities, discuss and approve issues of the Kentucky Assembly and the Kentucky State de jure government, discuss committee reports and motions. Any additions to the agenda? For the coordinator's report, I wanted to go over the credential cards. They are ready. Paul Brandel was in the land legs meeting yesterday, and we received instructions that will be in the chat, I hope. And did you get that clip, Justin, that from the coordinator call? Anyhow, Paul is saying it's going to be 6 to 8 weeks to get them. So, and there is instructions on how to do it and how to sign your name and that kind of stuff. And you want to like write the C out. They're saying now that we really don't want the digital printed C. We actually, Anna's been saying we want to write it out. So, and then on the autograph part, they're wanting you to use your byline and then V.C. which means under duress in Latin. I'm sorry, I don't remember what exactly those Latin words were. And then to sign it with a legible autograph and then print your C.
Hey Laura, if I may, this is Justin.
Yes.
Okay, so I did get everything you asked me to get. So some explanation of what's in the chat. Let me stop screen sharing for just a second, then I'll go back to the agenda. So what's in the chat? What just popped up? Well, I beg your pardon if I'd hit that button. Just a second. There's the updated. So what I just posted is the updated list that Terry talks about in the coordinator calls. What else I'm going to share is a Word document that I just created right before the meeting. And on it, I'll share it, then I'll open it up. Give me just a second. Let me open it. Let me screen share it real quick. Just so I can explain what all's on it. It's pretty much money for the month of August. What I mean my money is, that's a street term for this is good information for the week of August. So if everybody can see the screen, the first item on the agenda here, not agenda, but this Microsoft Word, this link here is to the most recent Kentucky Assembly podcast with Tammy Healy. So that was the interview last Friday. And then right underneath that, I bet that should be August. It's the August National Outreach Think Tank recording link with the passcode. So anytime it's a Zoom, it comes with the passcode. All right. And then as far as answering your question about the clip that I was getting from the coordinator meeting, the one that I had prepared was for the LRO and then the email sharing option. I just figured, and I can bring up a clip. It was from the August 11th meeting right here. You see on this Word document, this link and this password. That's the August 11th coordinator meeting where Anna was on it and spoke about an hour and 20 minutes at the beginning of that meeting. And then on this call, Terry talks about the credential card process, but she asks all coordinators to hold off a week before sharing this. But that's where I'm getting this clip from because of the LRO information on it. If you go to this WebEx coordinator call 82524, that's everybody's opportunity to be right in your shoes, Laura, when you was on this call. And I, for one, personally, I mean, we don't need to make a move to the floor. This is totally up to you, I guess, Laura. I always, with the mentality I have, sharing the most I can and let people self-govern with what information they want. That's why I'm sharing. I like the idea of sharing all the coordinator calls. They're recorded calls. There's nobody actually on there but coordinators. But it just takes the burden off of any coordinator, whether it's Laura or anybody else that steps up to help Laura, of having to redisseminate that information. Everybody can go on there and get it right from the horse's mouth, so to speak. So with that in mind, you got August 11th, which is last week's, or I beg your pardon, not last week's, but you can know. And then this past Sunday, 8:25 on this one. For everybody's information, it's actually coordinators on the call. Terry Som, everybody knows who Terry is if you're on the webinars, is explaining the new credential card process. I haven't had an opportunity to watch it. That's why I wasn't able to get the clip. I got the one that you and I spoke of. And then last, and I'll shut up, right here is yesterday's link to the Christy Leapers recording, YouTube and BitChute. And I'll hush and you can explain what happened last night. I yield.
We just went over how to do the credential cards yesterday. It is long. It's about 4 hours long because it's, and she said it was only going to be an hour because she's trying to get her paperwork done for court too. But if you watch it, maybe the first hour or two, there's a lot of instructions and you'll hear Paul and they go over how to sign it. Because some people were saying, oh, no, you need to print your name, and other people were, no, you need to autograph. So I don't know that de facto will take it if we just print our name because they're usually looking for, a signature. So I think it was concluded. I don't know. Is Keith on the call? Because he was there too. I think it was concluded to write an autograph. Because, they brought up how cursive is cursing, but they started calling it scripting. So, yeah, there's that. I was wondering, and I don't know on Tom or Todd's availability, if they would want to start going to the coordinator call on Sunday with me, because I don't know if they know they have the option to do that. And with that being said, I'll give them both time to answer the question. Thank you.
What time is it?
7 o'clock.
Is that every Sunday?
We are taking off for Labor Day. So most frequently it is, but we've taken off for like the holidays, and Terry had some stuff going on. We took about 3 weeks off. But as of right now, yes, except for this coming Sunday because it is Memorial Day. Or Labor Day. Sorry.
That's
Yeah.
fine. Yeah, I can probably jump on some of those. I know that'll be the same day that we do our General Assembly.
Right. That's why I asked it to be moved to 5:30 so that I could make it to the coordinator calls.
So I know I didn't get to make the last one. Has he moved that to 5:30 now?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
This is Tom, Mayor.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd love to join Sunday, Laura. If you could send me the link, I'd appreciate it. Thanks. How you?
I have asked Terry Somm to email me the link. But I didn't have like a reminder like we do for our assembly member meetings this week. I had to look for it from a few weeks ago. So I hope that she starts emailing me the link. I don't know, does she email you the link, Justin? Like on a weekly basis?
She does it, the way she does it is kind of funny, Laura, is she sends the agenda and the meeting link to get on the meeting. It's pretty ritual about 3:30 Eastern time, and the meetings are at 7. So that must be assumption of mine, is just as she gets on a computer and starts her whole process, and gets the link out to all the old coordinator emails. So it was the IT I beg your pardon, the coordinator emails that the Federation IT created. So it comes to that. So I mean, I can start relaying that, but I heard you request that it be sent to the state email too. So, and your personal. So we're do
Yes, I did. I did because I didn't get it last week and I was freaking out. I was like, oh, I was calling you. And
yeah.
I know you must have been busy, but yeah. So just so I can get it every week. But I did eventually find it. I just had to go weeks back in my emails.
Yeah. The only thing that I don't know, is it so apparently then from what you just said, it's a recurring link then.
Yes.
Okay. So once Tom and Todd was to have it, they would, it would between the three of you and whoever comes on, coordinator wise, to add them to the team and schedule them in. The only thing that would change would be the agenda.
Right. Yeah.
It would be different. As far as what she shares, the agenda pretty much stays the same. So she don't have to, that's a lot of typing. But whatever I can do to help, I mean, y'all let me know.
Well, just if I'll let you know this week or next week. It won't be this week. Next week if we get the link. If not,
Okay.
I'll probably need you to send it to me if she's But I even emailed her, so I'm sure she will. She's pretty thorough with things.
Yeah. Well, not that I have any more clout than you do with her, but I'll reach out from my office of Marshall at Arms and just say, hey, we're trying to, coordinate a team effort between coordinators. Do you care to add this email to the list of emails you've seen the link to? Because if it, just for everybody's general knowledge on the call, it's wonder, what email I'm speaking of. This is the first ever email created by the Federation IT that was given out to all assembly coordinators. I don't know when it was created, but as the coordinators had stepped down and I stepped up as Marshal at Arms, I got access to it. So that's an IT, what I classify as an international email. International as being we are nation states. So everybody that's attached to those emails are on another state, on another nation state. So that would be an international email. All emails that we create within the assembly through our ILNS and what Tom you have, what Todd, Chris, everybody that has an assembly Kentucky State National.us email, those are in-state emails. So it would be just a simple request maybe from your end since you've already done that, and I'll just follow up, with her and see if we can't get that email added. That way I'm not the middleman in it. But I'll help wherever I can. Are you?
Sounds good. Thank you. We've been going over how to build an assembly, the book that, we shared it at one of our outreach or orientations or something. So that's pretty much what we've been going over.
Yeah, if I may on that, that's why, if you could, it would be a request from me as a Lincoln Countyan more than the Marshal at Arms. Because maybe once we get that recording link, just share it out to everybody so everybody has the opportunity to see that information. Maybe for the time being, since we're small, right? But as we grow, we may have to change that tactic. That way we can keep hands on our intellectual property and not share information. Because there's other men and women on that call that are sharing their information from other states. But right now, with us being small, and correct me if I'm wrong, I just think it's better if we all have that information or are abreast and aware of that information, or at least have the opportunity to see that information. Because of what you just said about them going over the how to build an assembly stuff. That's brand new information. They're doing that with Anna, so just help you out a little bit. Are you?
May I?
Yes.
Yeah, Laura, that is an excellent idea because those meetings can go 2 hours or more, hour or 2 hours or more. But if you share that with everybody that's been here a while, then it cuts down on your being able to have or feeling the need to relay that information or emphasize. They'll just basically get the whole content. So you could probably just move into discussions after asking us how many has seen the coordinator agenda, previous coordinator agenda meetings or minutes or whatever. So I agree. I yield.
And honestly, one more thing, it also protects the coordinator position from being any aspersions cast upon it as far as hoarding information. Are you? Belinda, help me out with this agenda again. Do I need to scroll on down? I can't ever get it. It's confusing as hell.
Yes, the top part is just basically updates for, like positions that's been held. You would just go down to the new information area. That's where it actually starts. It just gives everyone links to the LRO, to the bank, and then names for positions that's been filled. and then what's not been filled, that kind of thing. And then we actually get into the agenda itself.
Okay, awesome. I yield, Laura.
So I do see that our international business is not, I've noticed Nick hasn't been here, so I guess that didn't pan out. Is he our coordinator?
He sent me a text message and said that they are having to work 12-hour shifts, and he doesn't know when that's going to end, so he doesn't know when he will be able to participate. But they are working on being able to come back. I yield.
Thank you. That's
May I-
actually great news. Yes.
Yeah, what we can do with that is a contingency for pillar coordination not being able to make it for valid reasons. We can identify a committee in another pillar that can facilitate or at least discussions, since there's going to be a gap anyway. But if there's nobody to lead a committee in the business assembly pillar, there should be, or maybe an adjacent committee in another pillar that can kind of help share that information. And at some point they'll intersect, especially when the coordinator for that pillar comes back. So I can't think of an example off the top of my head, but maybe a provisions committee, and that's an assembly militia pillar subcommittee, provisions committee. I think the business assembly could benefit from having that crosstalk at some point. I'll talk with. Well, I'll yield on that.
So technically Nick could have a co-coordinator since he is working 12, like if somebody else wanted to step up. So maybe we need to, if anybody's good at business and you want to help Nick go coordinate the business assembly, anybody want to step up for that? Okay, I guess moving on. Militia. Okay, I see that you have a question about vetting. We'll take Jen and then let Todd do the militia update. Go ahead, Jen.
Well, I had directed a question to Joe in the chat. I had a concern, and I was just wondering, Joe, did you ever find out how long public results remain visible from the vetted background checks processed by the Continental Marshal Service?
I think it's 18 months, Jim, but I'm going to talk with them at the top of the hour. I have a CMS meeting with them. I'll be sure to. I already have it written down to ask them that. Yeah, but I think public exposure is 18 months. I'm not quite sure. Maybe 24 months.
I mean, I'm just concerned that the public exposure is exposing quite a lot.
Well, I don't know. I'll let you know. I'll find out about that. I didn't know that was even an open option. I thought that was a semi-restricted option.
Yeah, I stumbled upon it shockingly, and I think it's something that definitely needs to be brought to their attention, because that's really bad.
Yeah, I'll let everybody know. I'll find out. Yeah, we got some vetting. On that note, CMS is ramping up again their vetting opportunity, but they're only focusing on vetting committees or vetting the vetting chair of every state. But they're going to start talking about that tomorrow for several weeks. I think they're going to go forward. There's a best practices procedure already in place and has been in place that was used to vet the entire California Assembly about a year and a half ago. But anyway, we'll find out more about that, how that goes. Traditionally, those are supposed to be open. I think they opened that feature just to show the nation that, full transparency, anybody going for any position at all nationwide for a limited time should have access to those publications, and then they close after that. So
So
I yield.
Bob and I are kind of lost about what y'all are even talking about. Is there a way you can elaborate more? Are we the only
Yeah,
ones that?
yeah, when the Continental Marshals receives vetting through ClearChecks, um, uh, there's a version of it on the CMS site for inquiring minds, and the reason why I think they opened that up is because there were people, they were getting a bottleneck in the effort of having background checks, and then people were railing against not being able to see the results themselves. So I think CMS for a limited time let everybody see who all was going for whatever, but now there's only the vetting chair. So at this point, you'll only see peacekeepers, background checks at every level, exterior to the assembly, and then the vetting chair. So that's all. I'll find out more and show everybody how they can access those background checks.
Belinda, your hand.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna tell Laura, because she said she was gonna let the militia go, but we haven't even gotten to the new business yet. So, because the first thing that's on the agenda for tonight is the coordinator report. I yield.
Thank you, Belinda. So some of the things I put in the coordinator report, we were going over the how to build an assembly. We did talk about inflammatory rhetoric and the cussing and that kind of stuff. So policy is that we can have them removed by our marshal at arms if they are being disorderly. And that's one of the things that highly upsets me, even though I'm trying to listen to everybody, is we had some meetings that did not look good, did not look peaceful. I mean, and they're horrible for outreach. So those are, I know they weren't in our particular policies, but they were in how to build an assembly. And if everyone can read that book, it will help you operate in our assembly and understand why we're pushing to do the agenda. You know, for now on, when there is a conflict, it needs to be outside of the General Assembly meeting. That was also talked about. So just some things to help us move in peace as we continue going. Anna is asking for donations. She said even $5, and it's on most of her coordinator calls that she's asking. There is a link on the TASA site to donate to it. I don't know if Belinda got the link in the agenda or not, because I think I sent it to her later.
Yeah, it's in there. It's right there underneath. See, it's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th dot down, and is needing donations. Link can be found at the TAS website.
Okay, yep. Thank you. So, anything that y'all could possibly do with Anna, you know, her success is just gonna trickle down and be our success. Um, the,
Have
go ahead.
May I just really quick? If there's any way we could set up a Cash App under a business, maybe not a business, a personal, however, but put Kentucky/gift on a Cash App, and then we all can donate to that. And then, Belinda, her team can then send that at the end of the month. And I guess, $5 a month between all of us will add up, especially if the other states do the same. But then that shows that that's being sent over on behalf of the Kentucky Assembly in that way. Just a suggestion. I yield.
How do you feel about that, Belinda? So you're saying all of us download the Cash App, or just,
Yeah,
I don't,
yeah. That's because I use Cash App all the time now. I have just started using it, but now I use it all the time, all year now. It's really great. It's quick. Not a lot of moving parts to it. But if we just send it over to the Kentucky Gift Cash App, then Belinda can send it right over at the end of the month, right over there. $5 between 10 folks or 15 folks. And then one state, then all 50 of the other, all 49 of the other states do the same or something similar. At least for us, we can see that, $50 going her way every month or whatever. Something like that. I yield.
Can we possibly get that link? Do you have a link to the Cash App that you're talking about?
Yeah, I'll send it. Yeah, sure. Linda,
We
I'll
would
text
have
you
to set up, sorry,
Oh.
Joe. We would have to set up an account. And I mean, I have Cash App, but what we would need to do is set up a Cash App. I guess a gift one doesn't get charged the fees. Is that what you're getting at, Joe?
No, the business one does. PKTF gift is a business one because I have payroll and stuff I got to account for, and it does deduct just a little bit, but you get instant access if you get a fairly sizable donation that way. If it's a personal one, then there's no extra cost brought out, like 20 cents or 19 cents every dollar, which adds up. But yeah, I do a personal one, and then any one of on the treasury or so can do that. Then we'll just send it right over, and you can see all who donated for that month, and then at the end of the month, just send it right over to Anna. Easy peasy.
Okay, I can look into that and bring it up when I
Sure.
have the results.
Yep.
So what Jen is saying is all of our contact stuff is on the Continental Marshals page, I guess is the concern with, I know that I have been asked in Telegram if I wanted my name and email and contact stuff in the directory for the coordinators, and I of course said yes. So, I would like to give Jen another moment to speak on some of this because she's putting a lot in the chat, and I always do better if someone can explain it all. So I'll yield. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Laura. I basically was just sharing with the few people on the Kentucky Assembly in private, their private personal information, which is for public view. And it is a concern. And if you all are okay with that, then of course I'm okay with that. But if that was my information, I would not be okay with that. And with that, I yield.
Well, I don't particularly know about the Continental Marshals page, but being a coordinator, I think it's important to have my information out there. I did not see if my address was on there. That's the only thing I kind of have a problem with on my end because I only got to open it for a second. So, is our addresses on there too?
Name, date of birth, phone number, driver's license, physical address, email, friends and family, social media accounts, arrest records, testimonies available for public access. I yield. I sent you all direct links. Those were direct links that take you right there, and it'll show you the other 80 American State Nationals who are also available for public view, including Lisa Schaefer from Ohio. I yield.
Hey, Jim, real quick, did you stumble into that, or is that an open feature? Can you explain how you was able to?
Yeah, I
That
just
may be an IT
basic.
concern for them.
Yeah, basically, I just Googled some names from the Kentucky Assembly, and I was quite shocked to have that be one of the first links that popped up. It was rather peculiar. I was like, what is this? That's interesting. And I clicked on it. I Googled Laura's name, if anybody's curious.
Yeah, but that's through ClearChecks, right?
No, I Googled her name on Google.
Right, but that's apart from CMS. I'm saying with the information the information that you found the information for the Continental Marshal Service, that's only through ClearChecks.
Joe, out of concern for the people who have been exposed, I sent them direct links so they can find their information themselves, and it is directly connected to the continentalmarshals.us.
Okay. Yeah, I'm
And
gonna get, that's the first thing I'm gonna mention, just to find out what that priority level is for. But yes, that's great. That's great that you found that. That doesn't sound conducive to their limited exposure to just
not at
Google
all.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, all I did was Google Laura's name and where she's from, and anybody can do that, and that is the link that's going to pop up for you. It's like the first or second one, and I was like, the reason I was drawn to it, of course, is because it sounded familiar with
Mhm.
what we're doing. So I clicked on it, and then I started doing some digging, and there's a lot of exposure on there, down to when people were vetted, to when it was uploaded into the system. And there's also a vetting form, and there's 2 links I shared with these people, with each individual, and one of them is it also explains what the CMS is doing and what the vetting form is for and how it's supposed to be used. And it seems like there should be other people who have been vetted that would be showing up as well.
Oh, they probably timed out, but I'll definitely, dang, we need you over there on CMS. Troubleshoot their infrastructure. That's great. Great find, Jen. I appreciate that a lot. Really.
Yeah, this is Belinda on Bullet, and every bit of my information is exposed right now. And that needs to be removed immediately, and I need to know how to do it.
And that's through CMS?
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes, like every bit of my information is exposed right now to anybody who has access to that site.
That's not good. As a matter of fact, let me jump off the call here right now, and I'll get the
Yeah,
main
even
IT.
my birth certificate is on here. Everything about me is on there.
Yeah. Okay, I'm not aware of that at all. Let me jump off here. I'll make a call real quick.
Thank you.
I'm amazed that it came through Google because I had to download DuckDuckGo even to get honest articles. So it doesn't feel like it's a friendly,
let me check
because,
Let me
okay,
check all
thank
that.
you.
Yeah.
Are you coming back? Oh, he already left.
Well, Belinda, to put your mind at ease, I don't think everybody can see your uploaded documents as far as your birth certificate goes and things like that. But all the other information that I stated, like your physical address, phone numbers, driver's license, date of birth, all that other
Everything to
stuff.
steal my identity is there.
I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. And it really shook me up. And I just knew that it was something that couldn't wait. I asked Joe about it the other day, and was it it might have been just yesterday, to be honest with you, because I was pretty shook up and I wasn't sure how to address this. And I was hoping he was going to have an answer for me or have it cleared up by this meeting, but maybe I didn't make my text message seem as urgent as it felt. But I don't know. I said these things though. I pointed out that everybody's information was being exposed. And it's also, there's also a link on the pktfnews.org. There's a link to the Continental Marshal Services. So if people click on that and start clicking around in there, they'll find it. I yield.
Yeah, I don't know why they need our driver's license number or birth certificates or anything like that. I'm okay with a directory like my phone number, my email, my name, my position. But I don't know about the rest of it being on there. So thank you, Jen, for bringing this to our attention. And hopefully Joe will get something worked out.
Absolutely.
So if we're ready to move on a little bit, since hopefully Joe comes back after his phone call. I wanted to do a roll call vote or I don't know, I still get vote and elect wrong, but I think it's a vote for us to do General Assembly meetings on the 2nd and the 4th Tuesdays of the month. That's the second and the last. Just because I think only having it once a month, it's too long in between the General Assembly and all the information we need to convey at them. So if we could take a roll call vote on that, going bi-weekly, or should I wait for Joe to return, Justin?
No, we can move forward.
Yeah, I would just move forward. I won't speak for him, but I would assume he would abstain anyway. I think he would be for it, but out of respect, he would abstain. But if you want to bring a move to the floor, if there's a second,
This is Tom on Shelby. May I?
yeah, Tom.
I just had a question. Do we know what other states are doing? How they're doing their General Assembly meetings? Once a month, twice a month? Just curious. I yield.
It depends on the assembly, I think, because I think Ohio they've gone from once a month to once a week to every other week. I think they're every other week now, aren't they, Justin?
Yeah, I think they are bi-weekly. I think, typical climate on assemblies nationwide or countrywide is bi-weekly. A lot of assemblies will base it on the committee structures and the committee work they have going on behind the scenes. It's just General Assembly is for the committees to bring their work that they've been asked to accomplish to the General Assembly and have a poll of the General Assembly done, which is a prime example of what Laura has done, I think, on the Oversight Outreach Committee or Oversight Ombudsman. So yes, to answer your question, most are going bi-weekly. You.
Okay, thanks. Sounds good.
This would allow for us to have the first Tuesday open to go to the Arkansas General Assemblies, because they're only allowing people to come the first Tuesday. I plan on going and asking next Tuesday, Tom, with you being our General Assembly coordinator and with your work schedule, because you might get called in two Tuesdays, the first Tuesday of the month, and then it's 3 months before you make a General Assembly meeting. So I'm gonna ask Arkansas if it's okay if we send just our General Assembly coordinator, because I think that might be an exception versus, having it actually open to the whole public. And with your work schedule, I think they'll be understanding, but we'll see on Tuesday if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that sounds great.
All right, so a move has been brought by Laura on Jefferson to do, did you say second Tuesday and fourth Tuesday of the month?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and I feel like this would help because our General Assembly meeting and our militia meeting are bi-weekly too. So it would put us more in line with them, where we could report what we're doing back that week or those 2 weeks. I yield.
All right. Then we have Belinda second to the move.
Yes, sorry.
That's all right. Thank you. Is there any more questions or concerns with this? Open to the floor. Okay. At this time, so 2/3 of 14 people. I don't know, y'all. We're just kind of winging it. So the best way to do this, I guess, for recording purposes, is just everybody, one at a time, or not one at a time. I'm sorry. Let me go over this again. A move has been brought to the floor that we move our General Assembly meetings to the second and fourth Tuesdays of every month by Laura on Jefferson County. The motion seconded by Belinda on Bullitt County. There was a time for a question or concerns. So at this time, are there any abstains? If there's any abstains, just put your hand up. At this time, are there any nays? Okay. And again, it just put your hand up. It don't matter. I'll get a count. It shows me a count. At this time, all yays. Put your hand up. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's enough.
You have two for us there, Justin, Shauna and Trina on Pulaski, both of us.
Awesome. Thanks for making that known for the recording. Thank you all. So that's pretty much a majority, but thank you all. You lower your hands. So that's approved by the General Assembly that we're going to start moving the General Assembly meetings will be bi-weekly, and that's the second Tuesdays and the fourth Tuesdays of the month. I'll make that correction in the meeting schedule. Belinda, your hands up. Never mind. I figured it out. All right, that's it. That's that, Laura. Thank you. Are you?
May I, just really quick,
Yeah.
I'm just going in and looking the background, I just got off the phone with senior leadership. They're contacting IT right now. As far as birth certificates, I know that's definitely a touchy subject for folks. I'm looking at the entries. You can't actually view background check or birth certificates. You can't even view background checks. The only thing you can see, anybody can see as public information are references. References, social media presence, assembly position going forward, contact information. No, there is an address. Seems to be an address, mailing address. That's the only overexposure I would see that I'm seeing. Yeah, no birth certificates. Is anybody seeing where they can see their birth certificates? Because that's not usually something that CMS asks for. As far as vetting.
This is Belinda on Bullet. The information that I can see from the link that Jen sent me is my name, my maiden name, where I was born, which no one knows that. My current address, my phone number, my driver's license number, when I status corrected, which I ain't worried about that. And then it's got all of my references, and it's got all of their email addresses and phone numbers. Now the link that she sent me, I do not see the background. It just says I don't have permission to view that.
Right.
But
Yeah,
the rest
yeah,
of it is,
it sounds like to me it's being collated by other sources. So for instance, your driver's license is not a part of that. I'm gonna double check on everything here. Gonna make sure I gotta
Okay.
get this right. But they're talking about it right now, and I gotta jump back on the call there. So just want to let you guys know, yeah, birth certificates it's not supposed to be seen or usually even collected by CMS.
yeah. Well,
So-
even if you can't see the birth certificate, it's got all of my birth certificate information right underneath contact and identity. Got my date of birth, where I was
Yeah,
born, everything.
I don't know how that's being collated together with what CMS collects, because that's not what they collect. They don't collect that information. So it's really odd. We're gonna find out. We're gonna get it fixed tonight. So,
Okay, great, because
Yeah.
my big thing is with my date of birth, a lot of people did not know, I don't know what just happened here, but
yeah. And
There you go.
did you even set up a vetting account on
yeah,
CMS?
they had us set one up when a couple months back, I want to say back in June, when we found
Yeah.
out that if you had a certain position, you were supposed to go out there on their website and put in all your information.
Yeah. Okay, well, they only collect hard copies. The only thing that they use at a glance that's inputted that's why I'm asking as far as the vetting details that they ask when you set up the
Yeah, I
account.
had
but-
to upload my background check that I got from Ray, and I had to
Right. Yeah, and
upload my,
Yeah, and that's not transferred into a digit input. It's just that screen, and those screens are locked out
yeah.
for everybody. But so I don't know where you were born and all that. That sounds like something else that's collated in somehow through
Yeah.
Google. I don't know. We'll find out.
Okay,
I'll let
I
everybody know.
appreciate
You're welcome. See you guys.
it. Bye. Well, on a funny note that, where I was born no longer exists. It's now prison. So if anybody looks it up, it looks like I was born in prison. So
Ah, I knew there was a reason.
I
watch it
looked up-
now. Watch it.
I looked on mine and they have me as 89 years old, so I don't know what happened there.
Hey, you're older than me.
Right.
Hey Jim, my question is it any way related to the LRO anywhere?
No, I just Googled Laura's name on Google and it popped up. First her LinkedIn popped up and then it's like it says betting forms or something and it was Continental Marshals Services.us. And I was like, wait a minute, what is this? And I clicked on it and then I started clicking around going, wait a minute, what's going on here? Why can I get into this? So yeah,
Well-
I saw everybody's stuff and I was like, and it made me sick to my stomach. And I didn't want to be, accused of causing drama or anything. So I wasn't sure how to approach this. And so that's why I chose to do it the way I did in the chat and show everybody exactly what I saw on their each person, and I opened every tab I possibly could on that thing to see, what is this? And I
Yeah.
saw, a page for the chief Continental Marshal, Pappas. Pappas is the last name. I can't remember. Paul Andrew Pappas, I think.
Yeah, I think that's it.
And then there was, like his little intro about who he was. And then there was another page that was like what this service is all about, and then how to create your own like account. And so from what I saw, especially like Todd said, he said they put him down as 89. I'm like, are people entering their own stuff? And did he do that on purpose, or did somebody misread his handwriting? I don't know. I could speculate all day long,
Yeah. Well, thanks for bringing
was-
it. Thanks for bringing it up. It's important.
You're welcome.
Yes. I'm a little concerned because it does, I was answering personal questions on the vetting thing. And as far as I know, nobody can ever see that I was arrested. And when I was arrested, my abuser had stabbed himself and ran out and said I did it. I can actually get them for fraud because they could have fingerprinted the knife. But that's actually in there. And that happened in 2006. So I don't really care for that. I was only in there for 4 hours and it was for something I didn't do. And I don't feel like everybody needs to know that. I wish Joe was still here because that is something I'd like removed. It looks poorly on me. I mean, it does give my explanation. I did say, that he stabbed himself, didn't show up to court, so it was dismissed. But do people really need to know that if no charges came from it?
No, it just gives opportunity for lack of a better term, gossip. So thanks for bringing it up, Laura. Really, I beg your pardon, Jen. Do we want to move on?
No problem.
Thank you, Jen. Yes, let's move on. Outreach committee report. So we're in need of someone who would like to take over the outreach committee. And there's a link from Anna's webinars with more information. I think outreach is a little bit on all of us. We all need to be outreaching in our own sovereign words in our own sovereign capacity. I think that's the best we can do while we don't have an outreach committee right now. So And I know all of you all do outreach to others around you, so good job. We also need a librarian. If anybody would like to be librarian, please get with one of us. And that leads us to the ombudsman report, and we will let Bob speak on that.
Yes, I'm not sure how to what I'm supposed to speak, but because I thought the ombudsman was supposed to keep things private and not expose it to the committee. Now, is that correct?
That is correct, Bob. Like, you're just supposed to provide a minimum update of where you are in your process. You don't have to provide no details or anything until it is said and done, and then you still get to give us what you feel comfortable giving us. Like, you don't have, you're the ombudsman. You're supposed to make those rules.
Okay. Well,
With, I mean, of course, with guidance, but I mean, if I'm wrong, anybody, please speak up.
well, I've done research. I've done I've talked to people. I've gotten emails. I've got information from Terry. And as far as I'm concerned, the matter at hand, everybody knows what it is. It is closed. There's no merit. Durand, he is status corrected and recorded as a different name than what he calls himself now. That is a red flag. He has 3 Facebook names. That's a red flag. He wasn't doing his job. That's a red flag. And if the name he has, the last name, which is Bay, that is connected to the Moors. So he's not able to hold a position. He can still be in the assembly, but he cannot hold a position. That is straight from Terry. And if anybody has any questions on that, I'd be glad to hear them.
Well, you're still waiting his information. I mean, you still have to take that into account.
Yes, and I'm still waiting for Duran to respond. We had a meeting set up, but as you know, I had certain things happen. So I tried to call him again today. I guess he's working, but I'm going to have to explain it to him and exactly what I've found out and what I've been told, and we'll go from there. I yield.
Jen, your hand's on up.
I just wanted to comment. I heard the comment about social media with fake names being a red flag. And I hope that we could disregard that, because there's several of us on this panel right now tonight that aren't using their full real name on their social media. And I'm one of them. I'm going to be honest about it. Why? Because I don't like social media. I don't like the way people behave on social media. And I like to use it for my own source of information, whether it's news, a new recipe, or whatever, or for me to voice my political opinions without my friends and family being in my business. So I just thought that was a harsh judgment as far as that goes. And with that, I yield.
Well, I can respect that, but the fact that he is status corrected and recorded on one name, and he uses another.
Even on his emails.
So yeah, on his email as well. And that I was told is a red flag.
Well,
Right.
I guess the red flag's on me too, because I do that with my emails too. I've gotten to where I don't like anybody in my business. I don't trust predators. I don't trust hackers. I don't trust any of it. So if that makes me a red flag, I am a red flag. I yield.
No, you don't understand the fact that he is corrected and recorded on a name, and he does
That
not
is a
use
more
that.
name.
He does not use that name.
He recorded a more name.
You're telling me that it wasn't on his birth certificate? It didn't
No,
match his birth certificate?
no.
Then why did we allow that to happen?
If I may, this, I mean, with all due respect, it's not the place for this conversation. So if it needs to go back to the Oversight Ombudsman Committee for these type questions to get cleared up, or Bob, if you would like to schedule a one-on-one with Jen, that's on you. Duran's not here, remember?
I can respect that. That's fair.
All right, thank you. Also,
I agree.
I would like to, because I'm proud, I mean, as a man on Lincoln County, I'm proud of the work that was done by it's not really a committee, so to speak, because there's not officially a chair. Belinda was gracious enough to step up and record all the minutes. And Jen helped out getting this document prepared. But Laura, forgive me for stepping in, but just as kind of like a course correction on this report, let's go over what was discussed and maybe talk about, bring to the General Assembly what the Oversight Ombudsman Committee has come up with as far as process and procedure, and get that okayed by the General Assembly. Would that be possible?
That would be great. Does Jen or Belinda have it to share?
have-
Can we,
I
you have it?
I'll bring it right up. Let me stop sharing this.
We
May I,
did vote on
Justin?
it at the oversight meeting. I'm sorry, yes, and
That's what I was just gonna ask. I mean, the guidelines for the committees are voted on within the committee, not with the General Assembly. Isn't that correct?
I'm looking for approval from the General Assembly, not a vote on whether to put it into practice. So it's
Okay,
my understanding that the committees, there was a need from the General Assembly for this to be handled because we were left without any process and procedure on how to remove someone who has stepped up to serve.
okay,
And
I
so,
understand.
yeah,
That's okay.
Yeah.
I understand. Thank
And
you.
yeah, and if I may, just a brief explanation for everybody and anybody that's going to see this call in the future. That's the importance of the committee structure, not just oversight and ombudsman committees, but all committees, because your pillars are where certain committees house. For instance, in the militia pillar, there are certain committees that are housed within the militia pillar that will take care of issues brought from the General Assembly to the militia. Okay. So everything's supposed to be organic. So just to reiterate that the General Assembly is the big circle. The Assembly militia pillar is a little circle, and international business pillar is a little circle, and our General Assembly is a little circle. Everything is comprised from the General Assembly, and then the committees do exactly what happened. They get together, they formulate process and procedure, and what they vote on within the committee is what to present to the General Assembly for approval, to put into action, so to speak. That way, my office as State Marshal at Arms or whatever, whoever's in this office has something to point to, that hey, the General Assembly, the people we've polled the General Assembly, and this is what they have this is what they have approved for a process and procedure. Now, if it needs to be worked out in the future, we get another issue, it goes back down to the committee improves it, they okay it, bring it up. And that's why the chairman of the committees are so important, because the chairman of the committees would be the one to present this information. Okay. And with all of us learning and everything like that, it's my opinion that, the ombudsman report doesn't really need to be, all the General Assembly needs to know is, hey, it was handled, okay, by process and procedure. That's just my opinion. So thanks for letting me speak that. I'll go ahead and share this. for the General Assembly to see what the actual committee product is. So thanks everybody for the hard work on it. And so now we're here at our first ever being able to bring this from a committee to the General Assembly. Is there anybody who wants to volunteer to explain it that was on the committee that come up with it?
If Jen or Belinda would volunteer since they wrote it, that would be wonderful.
Well, the committee actually wrote it. Jen put it in a nice, pretty little format for us. So, and then added some of Anna's stuff at the end, but basically the first half there is the process for removing or leaving elected positions. The first section is going to be for removing assembly member due to performance or cause. And basically there's not been a process in the past. It's been totally put on Justin, and Justin's taken the heat for a lot of stuff that has transpired, even though it was brought to him out of concern. So now this process is basically going to put it in the hands of the ombudsman to basically research, do a fact-finding mission. So that initial complaint is going to go to the ombudsman and any other assembly members that might need to be involved, depending on what the situation is, and then also to bring in the Federation if that is something that also needs to be considered. And then the investigation will take place. The initial, typically they should take about 7 days, but in unusual cases, it could take up to 30 days and maybe a little bit longer, but we wanted to put a little timeline in there. And then a final decision will be done and then brought to everyone else, the results of that investigation. And then there's some additional oversight committee guidelines. Once we get an oversight committee, that is something that they would handle if it's something that the ombudsman really doesn't want to get involved in, I'm assuming. But that oversight committee is going to investigate anything that's got some serious allegations to it that needs to get the PKTF involved or something along those lines. And then the next section at the bottom is for assembly members who are in a position but can no longer fulfill the position for whatever reason, and how to transfer those responsibilities, how to secure all of our assets. And that's going to be in both situations, getting those assets secured so that the assembly is not at risk for exposure for anything. And then the next section is going to be on the recall process. And that is basically for elected officials. Jen, do you want to explain that? Because I think you put that section in there.
Explain what the last part there, Kentucky Assembly recall process?
Yeah,
Well,
why that was put in with this section here.
I'm not sure what you're speaking on.
The recall process. Can you explain that to everyone?
Well, let's just
Why
read
it
it.
was added to our removal process?
I just merged Anna's articles with the existing document is all. Just points, which we can bring those up if there's a question, but eligibility for recall: elected officials or county, cities, and villages may be recalled. However, members of school boards are exempt. Kentucky Assembly, with its superior congruent general jurisdiction, may suspend and prosecute any state, county, or local official found guilty of harm, leading to pertinent removal from office and prohibition from holding future public office. Step 2, recall process. A recall election can only be submitted to voters once the officer has served at least 1 year in their term. No specific grounds are required to initiate a recall. However, a 200-word statement outlining the grounds for recall must be provided and reviewed by the Oversight Committee. If wrongdoing is found, the Oversight Committee will recommend initiating the recall process. Recall election. The recall election election date must be set within 30 to 40 days of the Oversight Committee's recommendation. The ballot will ask, shall, name of individual, be removed from the office of name of office by recall, with options for voters to choose yay, nay, or abstain. Final recommendations. The Oversight Committee must be replenished, rotated regularly with members serving 1 or 2 year terms. This ensures fresh perspectives and prevents the consolidation of power. All Oversight Committee activities should be transparent and subject to review by the Ombudsman Committee and the General Assembly. Any recall process must adhere to established protocols to ensure fairness and justice. The role of the Oversight Committee in this process is to provide an impartial investigation based on credible evidence. I yield.
Thank you.
Hey Laura, this is Justin on Lincoln. I would just challenge everybody that's good at researching, because it could have changed. I could have missed the change, but we are in the assembling process and are looking for Anna and the Federation's approval to be actually seated. So it's my understanding, until we are actually seated, that during the assembly process, the recall part of everything is kind of on hold until we actually have official elections. And that goes to this specific here, this term right here. A recall election can be only submitted to voters once the officer has served at least 1 year of their term. So this is all based on having actual physical public elections, to where we're nowhere near at. Right now, we're just taking volunteers on their word that they're going to do a job. We do a vetting process that obviously needs a lot of work. And right now we're just all volunteers and grabbing an oar, so to speak, as Anna says. But no, if I need to be course corrected on that, please help me out. But it's known that during the assembly process, a lot of stuff we do by guidance. And the guidance is that during the assembly process, there's not really a recall process. So again, check me out on that. I just want to put that out there for everybody. But it's in Anna's articles. Just type in assembling process. You'll find it. You'll not shooting arrows about what's been done at all. I'm not shooting arrows into it at all. Just need to have that known that we are still assembling and kind of winging it until we figure out, how you.
Thank you, Justin. So do we need to have people raise their hands if they're in favor of this, or is that what we're doing now?
Yep, that would be the process. To the best of my understanding is now that it's been explained to the General Assembly. We just do a poll on whether to accept it or not. And if it's accepted, I'll take it and I will add it to my records as far as it being actual not guidance, but process and procedure that we have in place to handle any future conflict.
Sounds good. So if everyone in favor of adding this for our process and procedures, please raise your hand.
Could we ask for questions first? I apologize. Give everybody the opportunity for ask for questions or comments. And then
Okay.
we'll just Is there any questions or comments on this?
This is Jen on Pike. I just wanted to say that what I did is I used a tool to merge information from the 2 articles I just put in the chat that were from Anna that were in regards to these topics. And if there's anything that doesn't apply right now, I'd say we just put a line through it, but leave it there so we know that it's like in development.
Yeah.
I yield.
Yeah, I was just good with leaving it because it is going to be needed at certain point. But again, I was just putting that knowledge out there basically for everybody to put in perspective that we are still just assembly. Go ahead, Todd.
I'm like you, Justin. I'd say leave it. I mean, the work's been done, but maybe we could add to it like for future use because we're not there yet. Just some kind of notation that it's there when we get to that point, since we're not there, at this current time. I yield.
Yes, I think it's good groundwork. I mean, it may need to be added to once we're fully operational and we're in it and we learn because we're doing it. But for now, I think it's a good cornerstone.
All right. With that said, is there any more comments, questions, or concerns? Any, go ahead, Laura, take it away. Abstains and nays, and then I'm going to abstain since it's could be considered a conflict of interest for me to have any. I'll hold people to it. I yield.
So if you're in favor, please raise your hands. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
9 out of 14, I abstain, so it'd be 9 out of 13. It doesn't.
Okay, yeah, I would raise my hand too, but I was looking at everybody else's hands.
All right, so we pretty much have I wouldn't say unanimous, but it's been passed to the General Assembly that we accept these process and procedures. So I'll do like I said, I'll keep them in our records. We'll have something to go by. You.
Way to go, Assembly. We got something under our belt.
Absolutely, one step at a time.
So can we bring back the agenda?
I think Tom has his hand up.
Yes, Tom.
It may have been because he was answering yay.
Might be a residual yay. Yeah, he's stuck in the moment. We proceed. Tom, if you got your question, you got your ears on, just pipe up.
Sorry, I didn't lower my hand. Bad
No worries.
form.
So is that me now, Lord?
Yes.
I don't have much. I'm just still taking applications, not applications, but anybody that wants to help moderate pillar meetings as we grow. That opportunity's out there. I yield.
May I? And I don't mean to put you on the spot, Sean, but I think that you would be good to help Justin as Marshal at Arms, just because you have that sternness and you can redirect people. So with that, I'll let you speak, Sean.
Yeah, I believe that I'll reach out to Justin on some more information there for that.
All right, thank you.
Yes. I yield. Sean on blast.
So that brings us to Todd and the militia report.
Okay, so I got an email from Patrick. Cards have been purchased. He was trying to figure out about drop shipping them. Not sure exactly when we will receive those for sure, unless I'm able to talk to Joe and some way Joe can pick them up or something like that. Maybe we could have them for Saturday's training day. Tomorrow night's militia meeting, we will be discussing everything that's going on Saturday, the details. It's basically going to be, the agenda is just going to be basically focused on Saturday and everyone that's involved as far as doing demonstrations and that type of thing. There really won't be anything other than that, at least as far as I'm aware. I think Joe may be elaborating on some things that has to do with the communications that's come down from the Continental Marshals. Other than that, though, that basically covers everything. So we're kind of moving forward with that. We're getting our cards, having this our first training day, which we're looking forward to, and meeting in person. And then from that, that's really all that I have as far as an update. I yield.
I have a question with Belinda because I know it's been hectic since Cynthia's come home from her surgery. Are you still planning on attending Saturday and doing the herbal stuff?
Yes, I am. I've actually already got some books and stuff in a box ready to go. So that is the plan. As long as nothing changes, I will be there.
And just to confirm, we do have electrical outlets or a generator so that I can run a foot detox machine or two.
Chris is going to be bringing a generator. Is that right, Chris? We can't hear you, Chris. No, I couldn't. Can y'all hear him?
No, I couldn't hear him.
No, I didn't hear you.
So my understanding, I don't know if he's having Chris, are you there?
How about now?
Okay, yeah, we can hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'll have my 3,500 watt inverter generator for you, Laura.
Thank you. Do we know if the pavilion has electricity? Did we?
I'm pretty sure go ahead, Chris.
The pavilion does not.
I think Joe is also going to potentially bring a generator as well, so there could be two generators.
Okay, and so I'm sorry, but how many plugs can you put into the generator? Like, will we have one because we're going to make chili? And I'm sorry to bring this up tonight, but with the funeral on Thursday and family coming in tomorrow, I don't know that we'll make it to the militia meeting tomorrow. Just because we got the funeral coming up. So, will it be enough for the crock pot for chili and 2 machines? Like I can plug 3 things in it? Most generators you can plug more than one in, I think.
My generator has two 120 plugs on it, and I believe it's got a 240 plug on it. But definitely have 2 120 plugs.
Okay, because one of my machines is a 120 and one of them is a 240.
I have a option for both. So as far as running both of them at the same time, I'm not sure, depending on just how much amps they run.
So let's let me talk with Joe to find out for sure if he's going to bring a generator, and even if you can't make it tomorrow, Laura and Bob, then between me, Chris, and Joe, I mean, I have a big generator. It's not an inverter generator, and I can plug in like 4 or 5 things because it's got 4 or 5 outlets on it. It's like, I think it's 11,000 watts or something. I can't remember what it is. I can run the house on it, put it that way. But we would just have to figure it out with that. But if Joe's going to go ahead and bring a smaller inverter, and then Chris has his, that should take care of everything. But for anybody that is planning on being there and needs something plugged in, if at all possible, if you can be on the militia call tomorrow night, so that for those of us who are planning and preparing, then we know what we will have to have for that day. I yield.
Hey, it's Justin on Lincoln. I got that link out to tomorrow's meeting out before this call to everybody. So everybody should have it in their inbox.
Yes, thank you, Justin. I received that.
Yep.
So can you all give some more details about where it is and what time and all that stuff?
So it's at Taylorsville Lake, down near the tailwaters. There's an Army Corps of Engineer pavilion. Actually, there's two of them down there. Chris is going, his intention is to be there 7 or a little after. I'm going to be there hopefully around 7:30. I have a 2-hour drive ahead of me, so I'm going to be leaving really early, but we're going to get down there to secure those because those are on a first come, first served basis. And it will be from 8 to 2.
Okay, thank you.
Keith?
Yeah, is that down there across the dam?
I'm just going by what they told me. They said by the tailwaters. I've never been there, so I don't know. I'm
It's a
just
spillway. If you ask anybody about it, they're gonna call it the spillway.
okay.
Yeah, it's right at the bottom of the dam.
So I guess that wraps up our militia report. Is there any more questions, thoughts, comments?
Only thing I have to say to add is for all of those that are on here tonight, and I know some of you are newer and maybe haven't been, I just want to encourage you to, if you can, come to our militia meeting. And if you can't do that, at least try to come to Saturday's training. That way you can meet people in person. And we just want to encourage people to become part of the militia and to jump in with our education efforts, because that's one of the big things with the militia. It's about education and just getting people aware of different things. And as we move forward, we want to continue to do more of these, and the more participation that we can have will be great. So I yield.
Hey, this is Justin on Lincoln. I'm assuming this is open to status and non-status corrected, right? Is an outreach.
Correct.
Bring friends and family.
Yes. Belinda?
I just wanted to ask, would it be, I'm just trying to figure out what to bring. Like right now, I'm bringing stuff, how to make like homemade toothpaste and homemade antibiotic kind of stuff. And then a couple of my herbs. But is there anything in particular that somebody would like to see that they think it would be important to make sure I bring as far as recipes and stuff like that?
Would you bring your clove water recipe?
I sure will.
Thank you.
I'll even bring you a bottle.
Oh,
Does anybody have anything that they would like to see Belinda or anybody else for that matter in those areas of communications, water filtration, first aid? Because that way we can kind of wrap that up and then move on for this agenda. I mean, we're going to go and discuss things more in detail tomorrow evening. That's why I encourage everybody to be there. If there's no other additions to that, then we can move forward with our agenda here. I yield.
I have a question about drinks because we talked about food, but we did not talk about drinks. Should I make some tea? Some herbal tea?
If you would like, I think if you are doing the chili, I think the rest of us can figure out some drinks. I mean, that's the least we can do, drinks and some sides or whatever. But like I said, that's things I think, and I know you guys may not be there tomorrow night, but we know that you guys are bringing the chili, and the rest of us can try to pick up whatever else, and we can discuss those things tomorrow as well. I yield.
this is Justin, Laura. I'll get the recording to tomorrow's meeting posted and get to you as quick as I can. That helps.
Okay, yes, thank you. So with that, we'll wrap up the militia report and we'll move on to the treasury report. Belinda?
Hello, it's Belinda Ambulance. On the treasury report, our square account as of yesterday morning was 501.17. And then I did have 250 on hand, but I went ahead and paid for the cards for Todd and them. And then a $10 fee for mailing back somebody's paperwork. And I just took that out of the cash that I had to pay for those things. And then of course, Justin still has what he has on hand. So our total overall is $2,719.33. And then 10 troy ounce bar of silver. And then other than that, we haven't really had a whole lot of movement. We've only had a couple of people status correct, probably in the last month and a half to 2 months. So we need to get more people in so we can up those dollar amounts. And then also we have, well, we do have those cards, and I think those worked out good. I think he said that they're on their way or they're getting them. But that'll be nice that we can use the Square account for something like that. I haven't really figured out how to do that just yet, so that's why I had to take from the cash to get those paid for. But we'll figure that portion out so we can get that taken care of moving forward. But other than that, that's kind of it on the treasury report, unless anybody has any questions.
I just want to say thank you, Belinda, for taking that on. We kind of use this as a trial exercise. I think that was encouraged by Justin because we hadn't used the treasury. And I know it didn't quite work out like we had hoped, but thank you for doing all that you do as far as the treasury. I yield.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, if they would take the Square account or send a proper invoice, it might have been a little easier. But hey, we made it work. We got it done though. That's what matters. Thank you. I yield.
One of the questions I would like to bring to maybe Anna or one of the coordinator calls is if we can actually donate to Anna with that QR code from our global family, because that would allow us to be able to donate more money. Does anybody have any information on that?
This is Justin on Lincoln. If y'all check out the Tuesday podcast today, it's pretty much, they didn't come out and say it, but it's pretty much they took that button off of the Global Family Bank website for now. So they made it unavailable. So nobody's, from what I understood under with the discussion, nobody's able to do anything with that right now. I yield.
Thank you. I didn't see today's podcast yet, so thank you. So ITT Tech, we're still needing someone to provide updates and fill the role. If anyone is good at IT, we would love for you to volunteer. Unfortunately, it is not me. I am not good at IT. The litigation committee report, I pretty much just go to Christie's land legs, and she's now calling it due process. She's not calling it a litigation committee on Thursdays. So I'm going there and learning litigation. We deal with a lot of our stuff, that declaration of, well, now it's the criminal information and notice of liability and true bill. So they've kind of condensed it all into that. It's a wonderful, wonderful document. We did talk about it in our coordinator training on Sunday. So Anna has put input into it, and it's pretty much a self executing contract. It lists the articles, it lists where they can find your documents to see that you've been published and recorded on the land. So that's the best part as far as us, but it's not really a litigation committee of, well, it is because she's going over that, but we do talk about, dealing with their courts, because unfortunately we're still having to deal with their courts without ours being set up. So it's mixed, like I like to call it now, because so many of us are dealing with de facto. There's a lot of people that really are dealing with the de facto, and we just want out of it. So if anyone wants to join that, also, if anybody's needing advice, Sean Warwick on Pulaski has helped me quite a bit. He's just a natural walking knowledge on the litigation and how to enforce common law. So reaching out to him has helped me a lot. And he likes to help people. And
Well,
with that, we'll move.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Belinda's hands up. Sorry.
Oh, this is Belinda on Bullet. Actually, I have a two-part question. A part question for Justin. Could we actually add something on our Kentucky site that would allow, say, the litigation team or Laura, to add those, forms to fill out? I know that I've been working on some of my debt stuff. And I've provided some of those, forms to people that they can fill out to process some of their debt. But she's talking about, the courts and the de facto and some of the stuff that's out there. Is it possible if when she finds those forms in those litigation meetings or whatever they're being called at the moment, if she can be able to, I guess, upload those to our site to where people can go and look through those to see what would work for them as far as self-governing, like for whatever their needs may be. Say maybe it's a traffic ticket or something along those lines. Would it be possible that when that information comes out and those forms are provided, could we, I guess, put them on our website somewhere, maybe underneath of litigation or, debt? I don't know how we could separate that out, but just somewhere on the website where it would be easy for us to redirect somebody if they're looking for something in particular. I yield.
Yeah, I mean, we could create something to where it's not gonna get. My only concern, and you tell me if I'm off base, is somebody taking that information that's on that website, not using it exactly perfect or whatever, and them getting in trouble, and then them coming back on us and saying we're putting out false legal stuff. That would be my only concern.
Great point. I agree. I didn't think about that.
Even though we're doing what we can to sanitize it as much as we can, as far as for lack of a better term, dummy proofing it. It's not really dummy proof because it's different for every LEO you come up against. It's different for every court that you're in. But I'm up for the idea, certainly. I just would be very cautious about them. You can't give them quote unquote them any outs, because they'll find every opportunity to shut us down. That'd be my
Right.
only.
And Christie's meetings are only for people that are papered up. So, I mean, if we're having a flow of people coming that aren't papered up and start using our documents, they could get in trouble because they don't have proper status and standing to use our documents.
Now,
But
I will say that there was a former litigation chair on Jefferson County that created a P-Cloud account. And what that P-Cloud was for people that are status corrected on the General Assembly, they could get that link and go on and check stuff. It never did pan out, but it's a Google run thing. But P-Cloud, I think you could buy an account, and it's like what Terry and them are doing with their document management server, giving you special access to it.
yeah, the forms are under litigation committee and the DMS. So, and I'm working on getting access for Tom. Terry sent me the stuff to print out and do. I just got ink in my printer again. So, and we got a new printer. So, I'll be working on that in the next week. I'm sorry, Tom. It's taken me a minute, but the death in the family has certainly, slowed us down a little bit.
No worries. Belinda, did I help?
Yes, it did. Very much so.
Okay.
But I would like to say, anybody who has any documents that they would like to share with me, I will save them to my computer and provide them to whoever may need them.
Yeah.
I would love the wealth of information, so please share.
Will do. And maybe you need to get access to the DMS with Tom, and Todd probably should too, being a coordinator.
Yeah.
Might as well do them all at once.
Yeah, it wouldn't help. Wouldn't hurt. I mean, I
I would be down for that too.
got the request forms if I can help Laura get those out.
That would be wonderful. Any other questions, comments, concerns on the litigation committee report? Okay, I don't see any hands, so we'll move on to the General Assembly Committee report and give Tom the floor.
Hey, thanks, Laura. This is Tom on Shelby. If I may, before we proceed with General Assembly business, if we could back up 2 steps. I had a question for Belinda. I don't know if it's really concerning Treasury, but it was concerning the indemnity bond forms that were requested a couple of months ago for mortgages and other types of loans. Do you have any information on any of that stuff, Belinda? I yield.
This is Belinda on Bullet. As far as I am aware, there has not been any change. That information was just collected in order to produce the bonds for Kentucky. But I think that that's as far as anything has gone with at this point. If anybody has any other information, like I've not been updated on anything else.
Tom, if I may suggest, and I think that was more of a strategy tactic than a remedy tactic, if that makes sense.
I'm not really tracking with you, Justin.
So it was more, it was poorly put out, in my opinion, by Anna. But it was more of a strategy that she was asking the state assemblies to do to get her the information, compile it in one big number, and take it to the corporate Congress and say, here, look, here's how much mortgage debt that you all owe us, instead of it being an actual remedy for people. You know, it wouldn't really explain that hey, this is not any type of remedy that's going to get paid off. We don't really have any way of paying it off right now. It's more of a strategy for us to use as at the international level.
All right, that makes sense.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Yep. You.
As you can see there on the agenda, the General Assembly Handbook is available. On the assembly itself, we've been talking about pillar building, and I'm coordinating with Justin and Joe to get as many General Assembly coordinators, chair people as possible to get some good ideas from them on how to actually start putting bricks in place to build our pillar, because the General Assembly Handbook has a ton of information, but not so much practical application. So I'm hoping to get some traction with pillar building here as we go. We are working on the Excellence of Common Law. And if you're not familiar, it's a book by Brent Allen Winters. It's a very exhaustive, detailed book on the common law. And for all of you on this call that are interested in building our General Assembly pillar, it is a critical book. If you're going to be part of the General Assembly, that probably means you want to be a juror, because we're going to need jurors. We're going to probably start recruiting jurors at some point, and the jury is absolutely vital, critical, number one portion and piece of our courts. And if you're going to be a juror, you have to know the common law, and I think this is an excellent tool to get that done. you can see that Laura or Belinda, someone put in there we had taught one of our meetings, these books, it's about $80 on his website. The excellence. And to do tonight is throw that out and see if that's something that we could do with purchase that was interesting. For those, and I would recommendation that if you've been on it, but as a piece, is we got to have that book. There is a ton of information in there. It's almost overwhelming, but that's kind of what we've signed up for is to do this research. And so so I'm gonna open it up to someone would nominate or throw it as a vote to purchase this book for the assembly for those that are interested.
I'll
Any
second
questions
that.
on that? Is that something that we can do with our treasury? I'm not sure how that works.
I'm sorry, Tom, are you talking about the excellence of common law?
That's correct. Yes.
I think that would be okay. I think it's something we could probably order from Anna's website using the Square card.
Okay.
If everybody agrees.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
will
sure of
certainly second it.
All right,
Okay.
so do you want
Yes.
to poll? Do you want to go ahead and do a poll?
Sure, that'd be great.
Awesome. So we got Tom on Shelby has made a move that we purchase the common law handbook for the General Assembly or for the General Assembly. We got Laura that has seconded it. And your hands up, Laura.
I'm just jumping the gun and voting for it, putting my hand up.
Okay. And so we got Laura that has seconded the move. Is there any questions or comments?
Yes,
sir.
this is Anita on Mead. Will that have a PDF where everybody can read it? Or is it a book?
It actually comes with the one that I purchased. It actually came with a login, like access. So I guess I don't know how it would work, but I'm assuming that I haven't used it, so I don't know. I can't really be for sure, but I think you can go on and read it. I don't know if it's something that can be downloaded and passed out that way. Because again, I haven't done it, but it does say that you do have free access to it online as well.
Okay, thank you.
Chris, I'm Marion.
Yes, Chris O'Marion. I was just gonna ask if it was one copy or multiple copies.
I'm assuming it's one copy. Is that what you're asking for, Tom?
Yeah. Anyone who's really interested in being part of the General Assembly and being on the jury, if they're interested, I say we make it available to people.
May I? This is an idea that just popped in my head. Is on the website, if there's somehow that we could, when we purchase it, if it's got some kind of username and password, I don't see any harm in posting that on the General Assembly page of the website. Common Law Handbook. Yes, it's by Brent Allen Winters. We could try something like that. We'd have to see what comes with the purchase.
Yeah, I purchased mine on Amazon and it was like $89 just for the book. And it came with that little pamphlet, but of course I haven't used that pamphlet.
Yeah.
Well, that's certainly better than $3.99.
Yeah.
So we want to move along with the poll. Any more questions or comments there?
I guess the question is how many should we purchase? Or
Well,
do we
Tom,
have-
trying to check in to see if we can buy it digitally, because if we can buy it digitally, then we would only need one.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can share it. Because if it's downloadable, then we will be able to download it and then possibly share it to whoever, needs it or wants it.
No, I see what you're saying. I'm on his page right now. It's the book is $80. The ebook is $40.
On the ebook, does it say whether or not you can download it to your computer, or can you only access it through the ebook?
It says you can all study. Let's see. It doesn't say here on the front page.
Is it
No, I'm
something?
not- I'm not sure.
I think the ebook only allows you to download it once onto your computer.
Okay.
I have a suggestion, if I may.
Please.
Not to stifle progress, but this question and the question of, hey, any other state have any General Assembly chairman that wants to trade contacts, could be asked on one of those coordinator calls by a coordinator. Because you have all 50 state coordinators are supposed to be on that call or have access to that call, and kind of like can share the contact, and they may have info on where a place to find. They may have already done what we're trying to do as far as purchasing the copy and getting it out to everybody.
Yeah, that's a great idea, Justin. Maybe we should just wait till the Thursday night coordinator meeting. Is that what you're talking about?
No, the
Yes.
Thursday meeting would be good, but also the weekend meetings for just coordinators only, actual acting coordinators. So there's a
Okay.
difference. The Thursday meetings are coordinator training, and the Sunday or Saturday, the weekend meetings are just for Federation approved coordinators. I say Federation approved, but yeah, I know Waite's what broke the wagon down, but maybe it's a heck of an idea. And
Yeah.
that's just my
Yeah.
suggestion. We'll take everybody else's suggestions.
No, I think it's a great idea. We don't want to reinvent the wheel if we don't have to, or duplicate effort. So, yeah, we'll try to make that happen. And maybe they've already got something that we can download and share.
Laura,
Put that on the other burner.
Another book that the General Assembly needs is Anna's book for all General Assemblies. They've been posting pictures out of it in Telegram, but I can only share it in Telegram, so that's what I was trying to share with you, Tom. But I don't think it's near as expensive as the common law book. And I think it's probably just as important because it goes over the rows as far as what we're doing in our General Assembly and stuff. Has anybody read that book?
What's the
Are
name
you
of it
talking about the blue common law book?
It's almost a purplish and it just says for all General Assemblies.
Oh, hold on. I think I have that. Hold on. No, I do not. Maybe not. No, I do not.
All right. Well, I'll try to remember if I get a chance to be on that call to ask about for all drill assemblies and the excellence of the common law being available to all the states, at least Kentucky.
Thank you.
Tom, would you like to get a list together of what it is that you're wanting with the prices? Could you do that? And then we can just make an order if that's what everybody agrees on. That way we can have those, especially if you can get them in digital copies.
Yeah, yeah, I prefer a hard copy book. I don't do well looking at screens for all that long, and I like to take notes, and it's easier for me with a hard book. But
No, absolutely. What I was thinking is one hard book and possibly like the downloads that you can share with others is what I was
Yeah.
thinking.
sure, yeah, I can work
Because
on
I'm
that.
the same way. That's why I've purchased a bunch of books, is because I do better with it in my hand. I can't read on a screen. The screens drive me nuts, and I'm blind as a bat anyway, so.
Yeah, I can take a screenshot of this and send it out. All right, so thanks for that, Justin. That was a great idea.
I put
Go ahead.
I put the link for the book on Amazon. It's $12.95. It's in the
Okay.
chat.
Thanks for that, Laura.
Yeah, I do have that one somewhere.
All right, thanks for everybody's input on the excellence of the common law. One question I had as far as elections and to keep on everybody's General Assembly radar as far as elections go is one thing I do know is that before we do elections, that has to be publicly posted what we're doing and the positions that we're electing. And I don't remember what the day term is, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. But I know that it has to be posted in public. And my first question is, well, where does that happen? I know that on a county level, of course, you've got your county library and your county courthouse, but on a state level for our state positions, how would that look as far as where we would post something? Is it a physical posting or can it be something online? Or I mean, does anyone either know how that works or I'll put it out there just to keep on your radar? Anyone have any information about that?
This is
Maybe
Justin. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Anita, I was just thinking that we're gonna do that Arkansas meeting. Is it next week, Laura? So we might be able to get some questions from them or answers from them. I yield.
Yes, it's next Tuesday.
Okay, that's a great idea. With that, unless if anyone has any questions about General Assembly, that's all I have. I yield.
I'm getting something that someone gave me and I don't know, I haven't really checked it out, but I was trying to do a article and get it published, about my daughter claiming her. And Michael on Louisiana gave me a link and he said you could publish here. So I just put it in the chat. I don't know if that would be a possible place we could publish the election information or not, but it's something you could check out, Tom.
Okay, will do. Thanks a lot.
So are we ready to wrap up the General Assembly report and move on to the recording secretary?
That's all I've got. Yes, thanks.
Justin or Belinda?
I yield to Belinda. I've got this clip queued up, Belinda. That all I've got.
Do what?
I said I yield to you. I've just got this clip queued up.
Oh, okay. As far as the recording secretary, nothing has really changed. Just the same things. Basically, if you need anything recorded, to reach out, make sure you send the actual document put together that you're wanting to add to the LRO, and just send it to me in a PDF format. Thankfully, I haven't gotten any more pictures. But I cannot upload pictures without having to print them out and, put them in, and they don't look right. You can't read them. You can't get the sizing right. It's just not, possible without a lot of time and effort. So I'd prefer not to ever touch a picture situation. Sorry, my dogs are going nuts in the background. But other than that, that's all I have as far as the recording secretary, unless anybody has any direct questions.
I do have a document that needs to be recorded that has Sarah's picture as Exhibit A. But I printed it off. Is that something that I just need to leave out of the document, or?
If you've already got the picture printed out, then just bring it with you Saturday and I can record it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I will attest too about pictures and anything that's got like even birth certificates. I mean, with us providing our own ink, it's hell on an ink cartridge. Pictures, and it'll just wipe them out. But an idea with the picture is to put it in a PDF form, scan it in as a PDF. All I've got is just a quick clip about some of the changes they've done with the LRO. They've now made it your choice on whether you want your email shared or not through the LRO. Before they made this change, it was automatic. Your email was shared. Like if I was to create a comma separated value list, was what officials can do to be able to share emails, state nationals. Like I can do it by last names on counties, but they've cut that feature out. I do still have a comma separated value of all state, national, state citizens before this change was made. As far as emails, so I do have a master copy list of emails and stuff like that if we was to ever need it for outreach purposes. But this clip I've got it on 2x speed, so it goes pretty quick, and it will keep me from having to explain and messing something up, missing something, and causing somebody to make a mistake. Go ahead, Laura, your hands up.
So this is something that we've talked about in the coordinator meetings, because now on the LRO, people can record their own documents. But they do want the marshal at arms to have hard copies of like our 928 or our 1779 and 2 witness testimonies, just so that we're secure if anything happens, to the LRO per se. That way we have a hard copy to fall back on. So I meant to address that in the agenda, because that's something that we do need to address eventually, because if people are going to start recording stuff on their own, they need to be known to get those documents to the recording secretary so that they can have a hard copy. And I yield with that.
Can I ask a question? Is it just hard copies of status correction documents? Because it's my understanding that's all we need to keep a hard copy of, because that gives us our standing and provenance as an assembly. That's why we keep hard copies.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they did say, like, if I were to come to you and say, hey, I want my writ of error, I want you to have a hard copy. Like the rest of them fall on the self-governing sovereignty of the person.
Okay. But it's an automatic that we keep either 928s or 1779 process, right?
Correct.
And also too, I'll throw this out there for anybody that wasn't thinking along these lines. Crap happens, Let's say you come up on an LEO that's having a bad day and you get taken to jail. If you don't have your documents, you can reach out. We can print them out and get them if they held weight, in their system. But yeah, there's multiple reasons why we keep hard copies, but that was my understanding, was we keep only 1779, 928 packets. Anything above and beyond that is at the request of the individual. And that goes back to the principle that we as a Commonwealth state of Kentucky they do not have a functional land and soil recording office anywhere in any county clerk building whatsoever. That's why it's so important that we're here. Because when people's status correct, we as the Kentucky Assembly, the Budgeting government, are managing our land and soil recordings. So that's just a pitch point for your outreach if you need it. But I've got this clip real quick. And it's just going to go through how you go to your LRO account and how you can choose to whether share your email on a common separated value list or not share it. It's really quick.
One other thing, the baby deeds are included with the 1779 and the 928s.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just take it as precedence, that's kind of like a common sense type thing. So thanks for that. All right, let me do this audio real quick. Oh, of course. Of course. Just a second. Two 103. Crap, I did it again. Well, I had it queued up. I guess it decided to. Oh, that's not the one. This one. Sorry. This will work. Years of practice. Seriously. Here we go. So bear with me.
So this is regarding.
Sarah, you're no screen sharing.
I know, I'm getting there, Glenn. This is regarding emails. So, in the past,
Can y'all hear that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
we have allowed recording officials to generate email lists. And, but this has been abused by some people in some states. So now you will not be able to simply pull an email list from the LRO. And because the email information itself is private property for a man or woman, it's important for you to safeguard the emails and allow the man or woman to determine if they are actually going to be willing to share their emails. So I thought that the code had been installed, but I'm not seeing it on this list. So what there on the tab called participation, there is a new checkbox that allows the man or woman to say, share my email. So the man or woman can self-govern and determine whether or not they are going to allow the assembly to download emails from the LRO. And so that will be visible on the participation tab. The participation tab is the one that is used by the man or woman to make a determination about how they are interested in participating. And so that checkbox has been added, and it says share email. And so I want everybody to be aware of that. It's brand spanking new, and so it is now available, and some people are seeing it and are utilizing it. But for right now, if you have a pre-existing list, you're going to want to continue to work from that list so that you can at least get information out. Now, the other option is for you to utilize contact 123 and use that to send your notices out for your meetings. And not everybody uses Contact 123, but it's a wonderful tool that will allow you to get information out to people. And so we do have training for that, recorded training for that. And if you need that, you can go ahead and send me email and request it. But I wanted everybody to be aware of that change. Okay, so finally, I've got a record that I can actually share. So let me go here. Okay, so here is the new field that will allow you to say yes or no on exporting this file, exporting your email address. So it says allow email address export, yes or no are your two options. And this is a field that each man or woman will set. Any other old business?
Yep, so it didn't.
New business.
Yeah, so it didn't, the screen share didn't follow, but she just brought it up at the very end. She brought it up. So what you'll do is you go to your LRO account, sign in, and you go to the participation tab. And somewhere on that tab, I didn't follow it, but you'll have the option of whether to share your email or not to share your email. So that's brand new. And then also, you all go take the time if you want, take the time to go back into what we shared in the chat. Because a lot of the new credential card stuff has to be done by the individual on the individual's LRO account. Okay. So if you're not using your LRO account, you're not keeping it up working, like as far as every now and then going on and making sure your password still works and keeping your password to your LRO safe, then kind of course correct. It'd be my suggestion is to kind of course correct and use your LRO, because you have now, like Laura said, you're now going to be able to go on and publish certain documents. I'm not really sure if you're going to be able to publish 928s and stuff like that. I haven't heard that, but yeah, if you aren't fluid in your LRO account, then get with either me or Belinda or somebody that is fluid with it to where you can get to that point, because it's a useful tool that was created. It just is really kind of complicated to navigate, in my opinion. But any questions or comments on that?
Yes, I have a comment because we've been going over some of that, how to deal with that with Christy. But maybe we need a training for people. And I was also wondering if you might do a conditional acceptance training on how to do that for the litigation committee, since I'd like to learn it and I think it would benefit many others on the assembly too. I yield.
Yeah, I won't commit to anything right now because I'm right in the middle of one on my mortgage. I don't want to divulge any more information on that. But and it's really got me tied up. I mean, it's kids and then it's on the computer. Big like I said, all I want to say on that. But I do plan on getting that type of class together, but it's gonna be the type to where it's gonna have to be the templates that I share. I've got to go through and take all my info out and make it to where people can just easily put their info in. So I've had many requests on that. I plan on doing that. Just give me time on that. But in the chat, you all can find good resources. So before we close out, make sure and go hit the chat up. The first one was the updated user instructions for the new credential cards. The second one was a WordPress document that I created with all the links. And then I shared all the links into the chat as well. So you've got yesterday's recording of credential card lessons. And then you got the 825 coordinator meeting where they go over it as well. So with that, I'll yield.
Sorry, I was trying to pull that from the chat. The links that you shared in there. So that takes us to our vetting report, and I don't think that Ray is here. Maybe Chris can provide an update.
Yeah, I believe Ray resigned.
I thought it was taking effect, well, next week, because he said at the beginning of September, so.
Oh, okay, I beg pardon. Sorry.
This is Belinda on Bullet. I have to jump, but I wanted to let you know that, Laura, all those, links that you had shared in your emails to me, Justin, if you scroll all the way to the bottom of the agenda, all those links have been added into that agenda at the very end. There's a link section down there. And there's tons of links down there now. So that starts with our emails, and then right on this, that is all kinds of links, that get you to different areas. There's just tons of stuff on there. If you keep going down further, I think it goes on the next page.
Nice. Yeah, so that's on the agenda, everybody. Very nice.
Okay, I gotta pop off, but let me know if anybody needs anything. Thanks, everybody.
Peace.
Yes, Chris on Marion. I'll do the vetting report. The only thing that we had was a background check for Bob, and it was completed on August the 8th, and all the information came back clear, and all the documents were sent to Justin, and the receipt and invoice was sent to Treasury. That's about all we had on the vetting report. How you?
Thank you, Chris. So the secretary report, we're in need of a secretary. If anybody wants to, step up to be secretary, please reach out to myself, Justin, Belinda. Moving on to adjournment, we need to, correct that date. So 2 weeks from now will be the 10th, I believe. Should I check that on a calendar?
Oh, I got it.
doing that.
You're right.
Okay.
Yep. Sorry, it took me a while. No, that's correct. And so I just made the adjustment on the screen for the recording. Now we can
Okay. Thank you. So with that, we can adjourn. And if you have any questions, you can stay and ask after we stop the recording. With that, I move that we adjourn to September 10th. Do I have anyone to second?
Chris on Marion, second.
We got Chris on Marion with the second. Any last questions or comments before we adjourn? Any abstains at this time? Any nays? All in favor, please say aye. Or yay.
Aye.
All right.
All right. Good meeting. Very nice.